Welcome to the Progress Texas Happy Hour.
All right, welcome back to the Progress Texas Happy Hour. Communications Director Chris Mosier here as we continue towards the general election. We are past the primary runoffs. We have a whole bunch of Progress Texas endorsees whom we're catching back up with again following the runoff now that sights are set on the true opposition, which are the Republican opponents in all of these races. In Congressional District 24, we have really enjoyed getting to know Kevin Burge, and Kevin is back on the podcast again. Kevin, how are you?
Doing just fine. Thank you so much for having me again.
Absolutely, for sure. So now that, what we call silly season is finally over, you are finally the Democratic nominee. In your particular case, that wasn't too much of a surprise, I don't think. But and we'll get to your Republican opponent, Congresswoman Beth in just a moment. But let's hit the central question. What is it that you would say is in it for the voters in this race between you and Congresswoman Beth Duyne? How do the lives of your individual voters stand to improve by putting you in this office rather than your opponent?
Well, we can just go ahead and look at her voting record and her ability to pass bills.
Yeah.
So this last year, she introduced somewhere around 32 bills. Very few, I believe 3 made it out of the introduction phase and into committee. And from there, she has 1 bill that has passed committee but has not made it to law. So quite frankly, in the past 6 years that she's been in office, she hasn't done anything. So I could literally pass 1 bill and the lives of the people here in the 24th district would be improved. But it's also the focus of those bills and the focus on working people in this district that really matter.
What would you be seeking to do in a general sort of sense? You've talked to tons and tons of voters out there, both during the primary and then, of course, during the runoff phase. The things that they are voicing to you that they're concerned about, that they would like to see change, given the scope of the job of a House representative. And of course, there are limitations to what any individual office holder can do. But in a general sense, what direction do you think people would like to see things go in whatever areas that they think are the most important?
Certainly. So of everybody I've talked to, 3 issues, all somewhat intertwined, have come up. And that is affordability, a really strong focus on good economic policy and a healthy economy. Healthcare is also a huge issue, and I'll tell you a quick story on that in a minute. And then public education as well. And
Right.
All 3 of those kind of tie into the quality of life, affordability, education. And in particular, a good example of this is healthcare. So I spoke with a gentleman who owns a small business the other day. During the Medicare cuts and subsequent cuts to Obamacare, he was directly affected in the premiums that he was paying, which was allowing him, those low premiums were allowing him to run and operate his small business. And so because of the cuts, he lost his coverage for himself and his family. And he had to go and get only catastrophic insurance at $800 a month with a $2,500 deductible. And that is cutting directly into his bottom line and his ability to maintain his business. I am very representative of the demographic of who is in this district.
Right.
Working class. I commute to an office every day, middle class, and a family as well with, a kid or 2 who go to a public school.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's exactly who I am. I am very impressed, though, with, the fact that we have a lot of Southeast Asians, a lot of Muslims, a lot of Jewish people.
Sure.
And just the different cultures that kind of come together as a melting pot in this district as well. It's super exciting to see that. I love to drive around and see, it's like I get to travel the whole world as I drive across the district. So that's really fun.
Yeah, that is a cool part of the state in that way for sure. So let's kind of go to at least the top tier in terms of what this general is about, which of course is the U.S. Senate race. And in particular, we've just seen a runoff result over on the Republican side, the Paxton Cornyn race. Of course, as we all know, Ken Paxton is the nominee. It does seem coming out of that there will be lots of John Cornyn voters, kind of your more moderate Republican types, who may either choose to stay home or consider voting for Democrats this time. For a great many of those people, it'll be the very first time they've ever voted for a Democrat. And so we're looking at that as a real possibility for a lot of people right now. Your name is going to be down below that, on a lot of these same ballots. So what message might you have for disaffected Republicans in particular, to let them know to continue down the ballot and to vote for you, kind of thinking through their lens? Why should a John Cornyn voter choose to vote for Kevin Burge in TX24?
Certainly. Well, I think we should set the baseline here in the fact that the Republican Party doesn't exist anymore.
That's right.
You may see the name on the ballot, but it is not the Republican Party of old. It is the MAGA Party. And the MAGA Party has one overarching goal, and that is loyalty and fealty to Donald Trump.
Right.
And what comes with that is a lot of corruption, a lot of unnecessary drama, a lot of cuts to our public infrastructure and our systems of governance. And so if you want to see not only continuation of a healthy democracy, but you want to see it done through somebody who is a patriot, who has served their country overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan, then I'm the person to vote for.
Very, very good. Anything else you want to throw in before we wrap up? Again, we've really gotten to know you pretty well on several touches as a Progress Texas endorsee, and that's been a lot of fun. So, Kevin, give us a little something for the voters, elevator pitch, whatever you'd like to say.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who made the primary and the runoff possible. Volunteers, donors, the groups, the endorsers. You guys are awesome. And because of it, we won that runoff with just epic margins, historic margins.
Did it set a record? I feel like I heard that it may have set a record. Did I hear that right?
It did. So we won roughly 80-20. And that is historic in the state of Texas as far back as we have been able to track runoff elections. So super excited, great momentum coming out of it. But to everybody who I'm now introducing myself to, my name is Kevin Burge. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I did 2 tours overseas in Iraq. Afterwards, I joined the Defense Intelligence Agency, and I did a tour in Afghanistan. I've worked with, in, around, and for nearly every 3-letter intelligence agency in D.C., and finished my time working for the government in the White House Situation Room. So I'm here with my family. I have a son who goes to public school. My wife is in the Texas Army National Guard. We are here because we just love this area. We love the opportunities that North Texas provides to our family. And quite frankly, we want to make sure that that continues and that those opportunities are available for everybody. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. We did a much deeper dive with Kevin on his experience in both the military and also in Washington a couple of visits back, and I'll put the link to that visit up in our notes if you're wanting to learn more about Kevin and his career, which is really, really impressive. Congressional District 24 candidate and Democratic nominee. Congratulations, Kevin Burge. Good luck on the trail, and we'll keep up with what's going on. You let us know what's happening.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.